Hi guys, coming up in this video, I'm going to teach you 5 tips that you can use to find a great audiologist in your area. Coming up. Cliff Olson here, Doctor of Audiology from Applied Hearing Solutions. And on this channel I cover a bunch of cool hearing related stuff, so if you're into that, consider hitting the subscribe button. So a really common question I get is, Cliff, how do I find a Doctor of Audiology in my area? And when I think about it, there really is no one good way to find an audiologist near you. On top of that, you have audiologists and hearing instrument specialists. Both of them essentially do similar things, but you need to make sure you understand the differences before you start your search. And I have another video that I've linked in the description below that you can use to determine which one of those professionals is right for you. So there are 5 really good tips to help you locate a good audiologist in your area. And I'm going to go ahead and cover those with a screenshot of my computer. Alright, so tip number 1 is go to your state's Professional Licensure Board website. In the state of Arizona, this is the Arizona Department of Health Services. This is the website that they will have for all of their licensed providers. Since audiologists are licensed professionals in all 50 states, each state should have their own website that has that information. And we will go ahead and go down and do a search for hearing aid dispensers, and we are seeking a licensed provider. The next tip that you can use is go to healthgrades.com. Healthgrades.com is terrific because it requires individuals who are on here to have a National Provider Identification Number, or NPI number. It makes sure that anyone that you're pulling up on this website is a medical provider. So, since I've done searches on here before, it will say audiologist, and you can either pick your current location or enter your city. So I will just enter a current location, and it knows that I'm in Anthem, and run the search, and it will give you listings of all of the providers relatively close to you. And since I'm the only provider in Anthem, it would populate me up at the top, basically saying I'm 1.2 miles away from where the search was conducted. And we'll click on my listing here. And if they have entered in information about themselves, you can find that here. You can see whatever their care philosophy is. And you can continue to scroll down for more information. And something that I really like about this particular website is that it has verified reviews from individuals who've been to that provider. So you can feel free to read through those reviews and continue on. And what you want to make sure that you're actually going to a person that you will like to work with. Since hearing care generally involves several visits to that same provider, you might as well like the person as well. And tip number 3 is going to hearingtracker.com. I love what they're doing with this particular website. Audiologists can put listings of their businesses on this website, and they can contribute to expert answers, which is essentially when a consumer or patient will post a question and you have multiple providers from across the country, perhaps even the world, answering those questions in their own professional opinions. What we're going to do here is we are going to find a hearing center, and again you would want to enter in your particular location. So we're going to go Anthem, Arizona, and find a hearing aid center. And so it will show up all of the centers within essentially a range of you. And what you'll notice on hearingtracker.com is that they have these blue markers. Some of them have stars, some of them don't. The ones with stars essentially have been verified and are consistent with providing best practices in our industry. So if at all possible, try to go to one that has a star on their listing. And so you can go visit that clinic page. Again, we'll use my clinic as an example, and you can find out some information. It will have a direct link to the particular website of that practice. You can see some photos and again some bio information and services that they provide. Okay, on to tip number 4 is good old-fashioned Google. So Google, what you'd want to do is you just want to type in audiologist near me. And there we go. It will bring up a map of where the audiologists are in your particular area. And this right here is a good example of why you want to run multiple searches from multiple different websites. Because what it's doing is it's showing that there's a bunch of different audiologists in this area, when in fact I know that there's only one, and that is me and my clinic at Applied Hearing Solutions. So there can be ads at the top of these listings, and then there can be some listings that are no longer in existence. So you want to make sure and cross-reference whatever you find on Google with these other websites that we just showed you. So if we click on Applied Hearing Solutions, here comes the listing, and what you can see is that there's some reviews as well, has information about open hours and phone number, again has some photos, and so it just has a really concise amount of information. You have a link to go to the website, but a great resource to use is Google for sure. Alright, that is enough for the computer, back to me. Now the fifth tip is not really something that you can do online. It involves going to your primary care doctor. Primary care doctors have established relationships with other specialists in other fields throughout their entire area that they consistently refer to for whatever medical condition the patient is going through. It's as simple as going to your primary care doctor and asking them who they refer their hearing impaired patients to. And that can be another really good search tool for you to take that name and start these search processes that I just went over. Now don't just use one of these tips to find the provider you're looking for. You want to use all of them together, right? Once you have a primary care doctor give you a referral to who he thinks you should go ahead and do a license search on that individual. Go ahead and go to Google and check and see if that clinic still exists. Go to Hearing Tracker and see if they have, reviews or a listing on there. Health Grades lets you know just because the doctor's referring to that individual doesn't mean that patients are having a really good experience with that individual. So you want to make sure that you run all of these searches to make sure you find the best person in your area. So many people just go to the first person that they see in the phone book or the first person that they see from a Google search, and they wonder why they don't have a good experience. And it's because you're not really seeking out the best provider for you. You're seeking out the most convenient provider for you, which you should never do. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you like this video, feel free to give me a thumbs up and don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time.